baby piggies.
And I have one lamb.
Okay, y'all, so I'm back with Zane. If you guys remember Zane, I posted a video with him a long while ago, but we are back because the pigs are farrowing. You know how cows calve, pigs farrow. Why do they farrow?
So farrowing is the technical term. So a lot of times you have these little unit stalls, because like right here, we call them farrowing units or farrowing pens. These are farrowing pens. They're usually not this big, depending on the size of the operation. Ours is a little bit bigger, and so we like to give our sows some more space with the piglets right after they have them. That way they're more comfortable, the piglets are more comfortable, and it kind of gives them a little bit of room to run around and play. I mean, they're just piglets. They like to run around and play. That's their thing. And they're kind of cute that way. Kind of like the Yorkshires in this pen. So the farrowing crates, originally in some of these operations, especially bigger, they have a smaller pen, and it's primarily for safety. You don't want to squish the piglets. You want the sow to be comfortable. They're going to be primarily in this position.
Yep.
That way they can, their piglets can snuggle up to them, stay warm, but it's also so they can nurse off of mom. We like to give them a little bit more room, like I said, just for it's more comfortable for them. They can get up, they can stand, they can walk around. We like our sows to be as comfortable as possible, and they're easier to work with that way, because a lot of times you get with some of these pigs are dangerous. If you're not careful with the pig and if you don't really understand what's going on, you should not be in that pen with the pig, because you can't trust her. You don't know what they're gonna do. If you get on the ground with a pig and she's angry at you, she's gonna find every way to kill you, because you're a threat to her and to her piglets. That's why when we are working with the pigs in here, we try to keep kids away, unless that pig is friendly. But a lot of times when they get into mom mode, you don't want to be around when mom mode comes out. It gets kind of scary. I've had a few pigs bite me. In fact, I had one of our sows outside bite me on the ankle the other day. One of them bit my elbow last week.
Battle scars.
You just gotta be really careful. But you want to respect their space, because they don't know what's going on, especially right after they're having their piglets. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of noise. Pigs get under stress, so you gotta be really careful. And that's why we're super careful with our pigs. We have a lot of, I'll show you. We use a lot of pig boards. We have a little pig stick. Pig boards are pretty handy. We can move them side to side, because pigs can't lift their head up very high. And so if they see that, oh, that's a barrier, I gotta stop, I can't keep walking. So a lot of times when I'm moving the sows out of the pens, we just run them outside here, let them wander around for a while, kind of get a fresh air, get a little break, and get to be a pig for a minute again. Yeah, you're okay. They have
Sounds like a baby.
needle teeth. And you see that little tooth right there?
Oh yeah.
It's super damn sharp.
Don't get your fingers in there. So that is a lot of good information to know about pigs, because when you think of a pig, you might not think like, oh, they need their space respected, but they can beat you up. So how long are pigs normally pregnant? Gestation period.
So the gestation of pigs is neat. It's 3. So 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 hours, 3 seconds, 3 milliseconds.
They're on the dime.
They are on the dime. And the same time with when it comes for heat cycles, it's kind of the same setup. So once they come into heat, you have a couple of days. I think it's 3 or 4 days. They're in heat. I mean, it's really just a matter of 3. And again, it just depends on the pig. Depends on how old the pig is. Most of the sows we have in this barn are about 2 years old. We usually quit breeding them after 3 to 4 years old, unless
The magic 3 number again.
magic 3, unless we want to get another pig, her genetics and her traits passed on to another litter, and so we have a couple of these sows that are 4 or 5 years old. And in fact, we're going to try another one here pretty quick again, because she was awesome, very fertile. She had a fantastic litter of Duroc piglets. I don't see why we can't breed her one more time, round 2.
Yeah, just whip them out.
Their gestation's quick, and it's amazing, because there'll be days sometimes where they're due that day, but sometimes they don't have piglets that day. So it's a game. we'll be up all night long between myself, my boss, or my boss's daughter, the three of us. Sometimes we'll be up all night long. We're all day long. Someone might be sleeping. I might be out here checking on them because we don't want to run the risk of losing these piglets. A lot of times, if they do start having their piglets and no one's here to watch them, they'll squish them. They'll get up, they'll walk around, because sometimes they're just like, well, I'm just trying to get comfortable. And you could have a problem with the piglets coming out. Many times we'll have to actually get in there with our arm and pull them out gently and take care of it, because sometimes they'll get stuck, they'll breach, kind of like in a calf. Cows will breach. I mean, piglets can do the same kind of thing. They can come out sideways, they can come out backwards, and it can kind of cause a slowdown cycle. And there's times where you'll have one piglet every 10 minutes or a piglet every 4 hours. I mean, you never really know.
They just plop out like
They
bacon
just
bits.
kind of plop out like bacon bits.
Yeah, so these little guys, oh, here, we'll show you. Hampshire.
These guys are two weeks,
Oh, look at them back.
almost 3 weeks old. And they're just coming along.
Yeah,
And this
how
is
old
the
are these
most
ones?
recent. They were born about a week ago. And she had more, but whatever happened with her, we don't know. Some piglets got stuck inside at one point, but she lost about 5, which is really
like
unfortunate.
5, yeah.
5 piglets died, unfortunately, inside. But sometimes you can't control it. It's just kind of the way of life. We try to prevent that. That's why we try to, give them as much time as possible between piglets. We try to get them as comfortable as possible. And as soon as we start, getting contractions and everything, we try to get in there as soon as possible, trying to find out, hey, is there a piglet stuck? Is she doing okay? And if we don't have to assist, perfect. We just want to be there to help pull the piglet out, clean it up. And then if it's pretty cold outside, we have a rabbit hutch. Put them in the rabbit hutch. We run a heater on just to keep them comfortable. And it keeps them safe. They're not in the way of, mom giving birth. They're not in the way of us trying to move around, protect everything. So we have a very good, efficient system. Like I said, she's got plenty of room. She can move around, stand up. She's re-nesting. Pigs do nest. They like to build a soft, comfortable spot to lay. That way when their piglets come over to come nurse on mom, they have a soft, comfortable place to be.
Awesome. The more you know. And then after pigs give birth, how long do you normally keep them in here? Maybe you said that already.
We keep them in here for about a month.
Okay.
We wean them after about 3 to 4 weeks. There's been a couple of these litters, kind of like this. They're about 3.5, almost 4 weeks.
Shoddy little fatty.
Yeah,
Look at that
they're just
rump roast.
They're stout little pigs. We do a lot of crossbreeding because of the performance of these pigs.
Oh, okay.
Some genetics from the Durocs are compatible with some of the genetics of the Berkshire, or say, in this case, we've got a Hampshire cross here. And we like them, especially, they're a great meat variety. They're a great mother. We want some of these pigs to perform great in the fair for these 4-H and FFA kids. They want a pig that they can take to the fair they're proud about, that puts off everything the judges are looking for, performance and overall quality. And so, you look in a piglet, what do you look for in a piglet? You want to look for overall muscle tone, you want to look for overall body condition. And these guys kind of have that. They're kind of stout, they're kind of stocky. Yeah. They have a well-built, uniform frame. Their body is healthy. They're just a good-looking pig overall. And that's what we want here at this farm, is we want good, healthy pigs for kids that are able to take them to the show ring, to raise on their own, start their own pig operation, having a couple litters down the road. And so that's what we want to provide, is the best high-quality pig for the customer, the kid in this case, or a pair. We have a few parents that'll buy just a pig just to raise for, for pork and stuff. So that's what we want here, and that's what we strive, and we do the best we can with the best knowledge. And if we don't know, we'll talk to an expert.
Yeah, perfect.
It's always good.
Are these the squealers?
Yes.
Oh, it's a little baby.
Yeah, just hanging out. Huh. Just hanging out. Little nose. Look at that little nose. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Huh. Yeah, they're about a week old. They're not very big.
Yeah.
Boy, after 2 weeks, they're just boom. They grow. You're okay. Oh, everyone wants to go to mom. Okay.
And they run right under that gate and they can go.
We've put these in. This is probably my favorite thing about building these pens. Is we put in this gate, we raise it high enough, it's about, I think it's 6 to 8 inches. But it's big enough that they can get underneath and go nurse on mom. But it's also big enough that if she is going to lay down, they can quickly get out of the way without getting squished. And we've also I build these a lot. I take a 2x6 and I screw them into the wall here. That way if she's going down and a piglet needs to get out of the way, that's an escape route. It's like, hey, this is big, this is falling, I don't want to get squished. So we do this with all of our pens, that way the piglets are safe, mom can lay down comfortably without smashing the piglet, because that's a big problem. We'll lose a lot of these piglets because a mom will lay down. It's just mom doesn't know where they're at. She'll bark at them. Pigs do bark, by the way. Not like a dog, but pretty close.
Yeah.
She'll bark at them. She'll be like, hey, I'm laying down. I'm coming down. You need to get out of the way. Where are you? And they'll make their noise, and she'll keep barking at them. A lot of times, they don't always get out of the way. And that's why as soon as they start having their piglets, that first week or two of farrowing, we're real careful about being in here, making sure that the piglets are out of the way. Mom can lay down comfortably. A lot of times I'll get in with the pig and rub right up against her belly, and she'll lay down. That way I can get the piglets over, and they can start nursing and out of the way. Otherwise, it's a 50-50 chance. There's times that she'll lay on 2 or 3 of them. Sometimes they live and sometimes they don't. So that's why we have our pens built the way we do. It's very effective.
Okay, so another important thing to know about pigs is the iron. So Zane knows a lot about that, why they're always,
Yeah, so iron's super important in a piglet, especially after a couple of days. And pigs, like when you keep pigs outside, they're obviously not outside really, but when they're outside in their pen, we like to have them in dirt. It's easier on their feet, but they also root in it. They eat dirt. There's iron in dirt. And iron's a huge important factor in their body. And a piglet, if there's not enough iron in a piglet, they get this thing, we call it the shakes, and their whole body just shakes, but they get to shaking so bad that they can't stand up, they won't nurse, they won't do it, they'll just die. So we make sure within the first few days they get a shot of iron. Otherwise, they don't make it very often. And it's kind of sad. In fact, my boss, Elizabeth, caught that, I think 2 years ago. This is the first time we've had this many pigs. So, everyone's kind of new to a lot of this. The Quesnell family's had pigs for years. But as far as these litters go, we've learned a lot more about what do they need as soon as they start having their piglets. And iron's a big supplement we have to give these pigs. Otherwise, you're kind of looking at death in the face of these pigs. Gotta be careful. Iron's a very important benefactor with these piglets. And so we give them a shot after a couple of days.
It's
and
important
they're fine.
for humans too.
They just get up and run around. I'm sure you could drink a bottle of iron. It's probably not bad for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Well, I was just thinking about it because we use pig intestines for a lot of human developmental stuff.
Yeah.
So we're
And
pretty
I think
similar,
pig
honestly.
hearts, I think there's been a pig heart transplant in somebody along the way. I don't remember exactly. I read that. Could be false. I don't know. Internet's not always accurate. But I know we do a lot with pigs in the sense of medical, and of course, in meat production, as pork and ham and stuff go.
They're crazy.
And they're funny. So the other thing with piglets is they'll pick a teat and they'll stick with that teat. They don't like to leave it. They don't want to go to a different one. And sometimes we'll have a bum teat that doesn't have milk in that quarter or that bag at the time. And so there'll be piglets oftentimes that are, they don't fully develop because they're not getting the nutrition from mom. They're not getting that colostrum. They're not getting that milk. It's weird. And you try to move them to a different teat and they won't do it. They'll go right back. They're kind of funny. But that's pretty clever in their sense because it's like, hey, this is a survival thing. This is mine. I can hang on to this. So this is where my food source is coming from. And that's why, these pigs have as many teats as they do.
Oh, yeah.
think she's got.
She's got a lot.
I think she's got 16 teeth on her. Yeah, just look at them. They just run around, and they'll stay. There's one on the. There's sometimes they'll kind of bounce around and look for a teat that has milk. Some of them, but for the most part, they find a teat. They stay there. This is mine. You can't have it. They're kind of funny that way.
What about the notching system on your ears?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Do you know
Identification.
much about
So we actually have a chart over there, and both ear. Okay, so one ear. I'm trying to think how this works. I had to explain it the other day because I don't really do it. I mean, I help with it, but there's just so much that goes into it. You're fine. You're okay. You're fine. You're okay. So I believe the right ear is the litter number. So you go in according of how many litters there's been. So we have 8. I think this is litter number 3 or 4. And so they get a notch in their ear depending on the litter. Here, I'm fine. I'll put you down. You're fine. You're okay. Go over there. Go now. And then the left side is like the number of piglet in the litter. So this litter was like 8. We lost 2. Each pig, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have a chart over here. I'll have you take a picture of that. It shows you how many notches in the ear you put. And we use a little cutter that we keep in iodine to keep it clean because you don't want an infection. And then you just clip according. And it's identification purposes. We do use tags too, but the ear notches are just as important as putting an ear tag because sometimes they'll lose the ear tag. So how do you identify them? You got ear notches on it. So it works out like that. It's kind of interesting, but it's how you notch them or how you notch them. What numbers get notched and how it works is a whole puzzle. I am still trying to figure it out. And I haven't figured it out completely. I can count to 10. I don't know how that works on them, but once you get after 10, then it starts to really get kind of confusing. But I'm sure these bigger operations that have, 4 times the size of pigs we do, I'm sure they have it figured out and stuff. So
Yeah.
we're just little.
Just little. So, but pig identification, if you guys aren't familiar with it, we had an activity to do for it in school once, and it was, I can't even grasp it.
They're fighting. That's what they're doing.
They're tussling. It sounds like that little kid in Incredibles, like the little, like the little Jack Attack guy.
Yeah. Right ear is litter number, left ear is the pig number. So the number of pig in the pen, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you would notch that pig by its number. So you start with your right side, there's 1, that's right there. 2, right here, they're kind of side by side. And then 3, 4, and 5. Usually with 6, you just make 2 3s.
Yeah.
And it just kind of falls on. I don't think we've ever gone over 10. Maybe we have. Maybe we've gone to 12. But I'm sure for some of these larger operations, this isn't uncommon to hit 149. Then here's your individual notches. And this is kind of the same. And this even tells us.
So right there. So universal ear notching system if you want to know more on that. All right, and that's about all we have on pigs and farrowing and the good old squealers. So like the video, subscribe. If you have any questions or anything to add, drop it in the comments. And check me out on all the other platforms, LinkedIn, wherever. You can find me Ag with Emma basically everywhere. Thanks for watching.